What's up, guys? How you do? Listen, I've seen some things, I'll read posts and I read comments and everything about when Derek got the 22 and a half years for killing Mr. George Floyd. And people were like, oh my God, only 22.5 years. Just listen. Now, should he have gotten more? You betcha. Now, what we got to consider is the law. It's made for them, not us. So, him getting 22 and a half years is monumental in the first place. We got to recognize that, because we can't let our anger and our feelings take us to a place where, we can't recognize that some progress is being made. It may be going slow, but we're making progress, because, for a white officer to get 22 and a half years for killing a black man, come on now. So I'm grateful for these activists, because trust and believe, their work is not in vain. These protesters for BLM, their work is not in vain, because with that 22 and a half year sentence that Derek got, that's from, black folks putting in some work. He, again, like I said, yes, he could have gotten more, but we got to look at the laws and how it pertains to, that particular state and what's allowable, what's the minimum, maximum, or whatever. And honestly, when everything started, I was like, I don't even think this man gonna get any time, even though it was caught on camera. Because how many times are incidents caught on camera of us dying, being murdered, and no one cares? So I'm following this case, but I'm not. I'm looking, but I'm not looking, because, I just don't want to be disappointed again. But let me tell you what, being Crump, that's the man with plan. Let me tell you, that man, that black man, is putting in the work. Because Derek thought, honestly, that he was gonna get off. And again, shucks, I thought he was too. But, again, you got to recognize that, some progress did happen, because for him to get 22 and a half years, I was surprised. And some people say, well, he may only do 15. Hey, you know what? He can't be a police officer anymore. He can't own weapons anymore. He got to be, what list they said he had to be on, I forgot. I'm drawing a blank now. So, whether he do 15, whether he do 22 or what, he done for, period. And that's why I'm a strong believer that there needs to be a list of cops. When they do wrong, they need to go on it, period. They don't need to be investigated by their own. There need to be an outside entity investigating them, because police will lie. And it's been shown time and time again, but no one seems to care. And it amazes me that in our society, we can see video after video of black folks being done wrong, being tased, being shot. Okay, well, he should have complied, but should he have been murdered? Well, he should have listened, but should he have been murdered? Like, if I come to you and I was an officer and I said, stop, and you didn't stop, and I shot you, is that justified? Because you didn't obey my command? That's not justifiable. And in any other setting, the person who shot would have been in jail. So it should be no less for cops. So, and we have a fight ahead of us, because we are in a country where a lot of people still don't like us because of our skin color, which is ridiculous, but it is what it is. And when you have cops on the street that think like that, that's a problem. And they have to understand that they can't go around doing the things that they do, because it is a huge discrepancy in how we're treated versus them. And people can act like they don't see it. You can have your little blinders on. You can act like you just weren't aware. Oh no, you see it. You just either don't care, or you want to see that happen, or there's nothing that moves you and you just unbothered about everything. Because this has been going on way too long. And it's been accepted for way too long. Because if the shoe was on the other foot and it was black cops doing the very thing that these white cops are doing, laws would be changed just like that, because they wouldn't have it. And, there's talk about, white fear and colorism, over the next 20 plus years or whatever. Like, are you kidding me? What you think because, black folks are finally having a say so that we're going to start treating you the way you guys have been treating us? I can understand you feeling that way, but guess what? We just want to be left alone. Leave us alone. We're not bothering you. Can't go shopping. Got to be somebody in our business. Can't drive. It's a problem. Everything we do is a problem. And the list keeps stacking up of how many black folks, men and women, children as well, done been killed for no reason. Now y'all know good and well, if we replace them black faces with white, this country would be turned upside down. There wouldn't be a stone left unturned until they got this rectified. Quick, fast, and in a hurry. And all of this is really senseless. It's because we understand this. And what pisses me off is that, people say, well, if you don't like it here, then go home. We are home. Y'all brought us here. We didn't ask to come here. Yeah, some of our people sold us out. True indeed. But we still didn't ask to come here. So when y'all brought us here, this became our home. And according to my history, the only person that truly belongs here wasn't black or white. Always taking stuff that don't belong to you. And why? I've been watching this show, and this white lady said, oh, my slaves, oh, my daddy, my grandfather treated them so well, it was like they wasn't even slaves. Now, that's a bold-faced lie. Now, you brought us here, worked us like slave horses, our ancestors, like mules. Then your white men saw something in the black women where they wanted to lay up, sleep with them, rape them. Some of them did it because they tried to escape, being treated so bad. And then came the children. And oh boy. Oh, white women didn't like that. They won't try to hide the baby, ship the baby off to somebody else, or maybe even kill the baby. Or if it could pass, they just take the baby. And then people worry about colorism. Listen, if you wanted the races to stay separate, you should have kept your thing in your pants back then. And there wouldn't be no mixing of the races like it is now, more probably. I mean, who knows? I mean, but, you know, don't start nothing, it won't be nothing. And now you're mad because white women dating black men and black men dating white women and white men dating black women and all this here kind of stuff, and your tons are confused because do you like us or not? You know, I mean, it was, you know, we was good enough only to work your land is what it is. I mean, you feel like we shouldn't be citizens, that we should be enslaved for forever. You know, there are so many smart black African Americans in this world. And if you think for a second that your hatred, your bigotry is going to keep us down, you got another thing coming, because guess what? The more you hate us, the stronger we coming. Period. While you sitting there worrying about what we doing, you need to get that opioid crisis under control. Because y'all dying at a fast rate. It ain't our fault. Because you know, when we go to the hospital and stuff, we can barely get the good narcotics to even get strung out on or get addicted to. But that's not our fault. So, you know, and another thing is, if there's a thing as a good cop, right? If you're a good cop and you're in whatever department and you see your fellow officer doing wrong, why don't you speak up and speak out? Because all the bad cops or bad apples, as they say, all they're doing is making your job a whole lot harder. Because now there's no trust in the community. People hate cops with a passion. People hate being stopped by you, don't want to talk to you. And that's not the citizens' fault. That's y'all's fault. Because if you're a good cop should speak up. Because if you don't say anything, you just as bad as the ones doing wrong. Like, how hard do you want your job to be? Because when people have respect for you, they're not gonna say something that you think is out the way. They're gonna talk to you human to human. But when you lose that level of respect, it's hard to get it back. And I doubt you ever will, because you continue to do the same thing. Speak up and speak out. Like, what is stopping you? You scared of you losing your job? Really? Please understand, if you a black cop and you go out and do the things that these white cops are doing, trust and believe they'll probably throw you under the jailhouse. I've seen the cases. You don't get the same treatment. And there's a reason why you don't see a lot of black officers doing the same thing that these white officers do. Because without, I don't like using this reference, but they will nail you to the cross with no regrets. They will eat you alive. And the union will not back you. So I don't think it's necessarily about trying to get more training, because it's not the training. Because if it was the training, then all officers would be acting the same way. or the majority would be acting the same way. No, it's not the training. They don't need to be retrained to be an officer, because I've seen them use the training. They're selective in who they choose to use their training with, is what it is. Because I've seen videos, and you can look them up on YouTube, where you'll see white guys chasing cops with knives. They don't shoot them. They move away. They may run away until they can apprehend them. May try to hit them with a car. They still don't shoot them. They get them without incident. The white guy that shot them people in the mall, without incident. Dylan Rue, without incident. He even got that one a burger. Well, he was hungry, must be. And people don't see anything wrong with that. And another thing I'll say too, with a lot of these, because you know, at a point we had hangings of black men, women, back to back to back. It's rare that you hear of a black person dying by suicide and hanging themselves on a swing set from a tree, a basketball goal. But they committed suicide, but there's no chair or nothing that is around them that will show how they got up there. That's not suspicious to you? That doesn't make any sense. So what they did, put the rope up there, got the noose around their own neck, and ate the chair or whatever that they got up there with. I mean, or they got some kind of magical powers, bewitched, and the chair was gone. I mean, like, what happened? Cops lie. And it's been shown. And it's not just with us. They take advantage of us all in different ways. You know, where they may not kill white folks like they do us. They take advantage of y'all in your pockets. Because let me tell you something, as a society, it makes no sense that all these cities around the U.S. have spent billions in paying out lawsuits instead of dealing with these bad apples, because that's your tax dollars. You would rather pay people for the wrong your officers did instead of getting rid of that joker that's causing your city, your taxpayers, your constituents, the people you swore to protect and serve, their dollars that could go towards fixing a street or a building or something in the city. And that doesn't make any sense. You would rather pay people out in lawsuits than to correct the wrong that's going on. That's mind-boggling to me. But, you know, like I said, we have come a long way. We still got ways to go. We still got fights ahead of us. And as long as this world is still in existence, we will always face racism. It's not going anywhere. You know, it may dial down a little bit, but, you know, some people in this world just love to hate. And if it's because of this, that's all they need. You know, you just gotta overlook those people the best way you can. And my thing is, if you don't like black, stay off them beaches trying to tan. Close down all them tanning salons trying to darken your skin. For what? What you trying to darken the skin for? To look like a Negro? Or close to it? Getting you that, trying to get a a pretty tan on your skin, make you look darker than what you want to be or it should be, put you in a category to look like you might have come from black or some Dominican descent or something like that. And then as soon as somebody say something, you want to get offended. Oh no, I'm white. I don't understand it. But again, there's a lot of things in this world I don't understand. I really don't. But you know, like I said, we've come a long ways, and I think what people don't understand is you see video after video, white folks calling black folks the N-word, can't do their job. They got to prove they supposed to be here, prove they supposed to be there. You know how many times the UPS guy done came in my neighborhood, white guy, ain't nothing but all black folks stay over here. How many times that man came over here, not one person stopped him. I'm just too happy to get my package from Amazon. So I don't care what color you are. You got on the you got the UPS clothes on, you in the truck. Even if you ain't it, it's a person that comes that's not in a UPS truck and don't have on their uniform. And if I remember correctly, I think they come in a Penske truck and deliver items. Now, who am I to question them if they ain't out here doing nothing wrong? Because all you got to do is watch and see what people doing. Stop trying to make people prove stuff. Like, who are you to want to see somebody ID or credentials to make sure they belong? That's not what you do. And you look like fools doing it. And you look real bad, and then you want to feel some type of way when you get recorded and it's put on TV. Then you lose your job, and then when you lose your job, then you want to come on social media and TV with your apology because you meant what you said and you meant what you did when you did it. But because you facing the consequences, now you sorry. No, you're not sorry. Because if you were sorry, first of all, you wouldn't have done it in the first place. And then I seen a video where this white lady showed her behind, and she reached deep and called the lady, what she said, a porch monkey. That's not something that was you thought out the top of your head. Either that's something you practice saying in your home, that's what you grew up around, or that's the rhetoric you know. Because porch monkey just don't slip out. As a people, we got to do better. And one thing that will help, and I've heard it said before, is that when there's a fight, when it comes to BLM and all these other groups that are out here active, for those folks that are non-black, you know what your best thing would be? Is to stop joining us, come from up among us, form your own group, and go to your state house, your capital in your state, protest or whatever. Because see, they don't like to listen to us, but trust, they'll listen to you. And there's more power behind that. I believe it. Because see, trust and believe, they can treat y'all the same way they treat us, because what do you think gonna happen when it comes to the point where they can no longer treat us like that? You know, they're gonna take that anger out someplace. So we got to be mindful on how we treat people. You know, skin color should not matter, and it's not even that deep, because you know, I have a neurological disease, and there's no treatment for it. I have to go get infusions, and when I go to the infusion center, there's black, there's white, there's Puerto Rican, and a whole host of other ones that's sitting up in there getting treatment, whether it be for cancer, leukemia, lupus, what have you. When you step through that door, color doesn't matter, because you're there for treatment to save your life. Except for the skin color, we all the same. We really are. You know, we bleed the same. We all got 2 eyes, 2 noses, 2 ears, everything. But this skin color just throwing people for a loop, because they figure we shouldn't be free. But I wish somebody would come up to me trying to tell me to prove I should be X, Y, and Z. Whew. Lord, I thank you. I haven't had to experience that. Because some of them folks I see, them black folks have the patience of Job. Woo! Dealing with ignorance. I can't do ignorance. I can't. And I went to a doctor appointment, and I respect my elders. But what you're not going to do, if you're not the receptionist at the doctor's office, is ask me, have I been vaccinated? Who business is that? Not yours. I've had instances as a child, and I didn't understand it then, where my mama was driving. We was coming back from the store, and it was this white guy in a pickup truck, and he just slammed into my mama's car, and he hit us with such force that it projected us forward. Had there been airbags in the car that we had then, they would have deployed. And my mama just sat there straight. I looked at my mom, I'm like, Ma, that man just hit you. He said, I said, well, you're not going to do anything? You're not going to call the police or anything? She just got totally quiet. I'm like, Ma. Nothing. See, my real mother didn't raise me. The lady that raised me, that I call mom, was about 63 years old when she got me at 6 months. So she used to work in houses as maids, and she done seen some things. I didn't understand, because we were at a point where, you know, black and white interacted. We didn't have those type of problems at school and stuff like that. But she just, As I got older, I understood why she didn't say anything, because in her mind, she's thinking about all that she's been through. And I can even remember a time when I came home from school, and I said, "Ooh, Mama, there's a little boy at school, and ooh, he is so fine, and he is this white boy." She said, You better stay away from him. I'm like, oh, mama, it's not like the way it used to be. She said, I'm telling you. But again, her personal experience. I had never experienced the racism until I got older. And when this is why you're stopping me, and this alone, I have a problem with that. And I can remember that incident of that man hitting us, and the way we just went forward, and she just would not say a word. That should not be the world we live in. And someone else shouldn't feel okay that, you know, they can treat you like that. Like dogs get more respect. Like if Derek has shot and killed a dog, America would have been outraged. How dare he? Those animal rights activists would have been out marching strong on the behalf of that dog. But not a black man. And when you look at that video, my God. Whew. The way he cried out, they say, well, he should have complied and got in the back of the police truck. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Because from the video that they showed, he was saying he was claustrophobic. He didn't want to get in there. And he was saying, give me a minute, I'll get in. And what they could have done was, you know, what we call it here down south, the paddy wagon, which is the big van that comes to pick people up when they have multiple people going to jail. They could have called one of them to come and get the man if he didn't want to go in that little tight space. But no, of course they wanted, you know, I call it the God complex, because they want to show they all powerful and they reign supreme. This man is already handcuffed before they even got near the cop car. They put the cuffs on him as soon as he got out of his vehicle. So there was no reason to even rough him up or do anything that would have harmed him, because he was already in cuffs. But to take a man down, put your knee on his neck with power for 9 minutes and something, and people think that's okay because he didn't comply. Man calling out, I can't breathe. People say, well, if he's saying I can't breathe and he talking, he can breathe. How many of you out there asthmatics and you can still talk until your throat probably close up completely and then you pass out? Calling for his mama that's been dead. And people have no compassion. And then you got black folks saying that we glorifying Mr. Floyd. He's not a martyr. He was a criminal. I don't care if he took all the drugs in the world. I don't care how much he stole or what. No man deserves that. What he deserved was his day in court, not for the officer to be judge, jury, and executioner. People on the side telling him, get off that man. His partner standing there keeping the people back. It was an EMT that was questioned, and she said she could have offered help. And when you hear the lady in the video saying his nose was bleeding, I'm not a medical professional by no means, but if you got your knee on somebody's neck, which is a connection, there's a connection here, brain, heart, something is ruptured if that man nose has started bleeding and you didn't punch him in it, and which he didn't. And that was a cue for you to get off that man. You could have saved that man's life. But oh no, you sit there with your hands in your pocket, with your knee on his neck, and your partner keeping folks back who want to help this man. That was a tough video to watch. And you know, I'm all for calling a thing. When you're right, you're right. When you're wrong, you're wrong. And Derek was wrong. Period. Now I can see if he was in a shootout with officers and they shot him because they were in a shootout. But this man was cuffed. Police was called because what? They said he was passing a fake $20 bill. $20. He lost his life over. That's you know, that's why, again, people hate cops, because of the things you do and the things the good cops allow the bad apples to continue to do. There needs to be a reform in these police departments. There need to be a reform with these unions, with the prosecutors that work on these departments' behalf, with the coroners, because these coroners will lie in a minute and say the death was one thing and it's another, and some of these people have to get their own autopsy to figure out what's really going on. Fudge reports, take stuff out, cut this and do that to the video and stuff. It's like, because if you're not doing wrong and you're not out there doing stuff that you shouldn't do, and you're going by the book and doing your job right, wearing a body camera, you'd be like, whatever, bring it on, because I'm doing my job right. But now when you out there doing wrong, you don't want nobody to see that. And somebody said, well, I think it was an officer, I don't remember who, but saying that, you know, we shouldn't have to wear body cameras because, you know, that can be misconstrued or something. No, it can't. You know, it's in black and white. Either you did or didn't. It's going to prove you're innocent or guilt. Period. Doesn't matter what I say, doesn't matter what you say. What does the footage show? It's either going to help you or hurt you. So if you did your job properly and you did all you can, and you know you followed the guidelines the best you knew, then that video is not going to hurt you. It's going to help you. So to say you shouldn't wear the body cam, and it should be a situation where as soon as you put it on, it's on. And everything that it records is an automatic upload into a system. And it should be a number linked. Every time you come in, you punch that number and associate it with your cell. And that's the same number you punch in when you go out. And when you get caught up in a lie, you don't get no leave without pay. I mean, leave with pay. Leave without pay until it's investigated. And then get prosecuted and convicted if you did wrong. Any other average citizen would. Why is it so special and different for the police force? Call a thing a thing. I'm just saying. But you know what? We got a long road ahead of us. in a huge fight. But we're gonna get there. And when we get there, it's gonna be victorious. But like I said, the changes are coming. They're slow, but they're coming. And I'm grateful for every change that's continually coming forward. And again, I'm grateful and thankful for all the activists. You know, I may not can get out there due to health conditions and do these marches and all this here kind of stuff, because, you know, had I been out there to that BLM march, I probably wouldn't even be making this video. The way they using all that tear gas and everything, I wouldn't have been able to breathe due to my health condition. So, you know, where I can, you know, help monetarily, I will. And that's something where I want to get to where I'm raising money and awareness, because that's the only way I know to help, and doing these videos and just talking, because this conversation has to be period. You know, we got to talk about race, because that is what's dividing us right now. It's not gonna get better if you can't talk about it, right? So I'm just saying, we got to do better. When you know better, you do better. And you do better because you know better. So guys, with that being said, again, wherever you are in the world, hope you have a good morning, a good afternoon, a good evening, or a good night. And until next time, I'm going to talk with you later. Bye.